Just 5 weeks. That's how long it's been since Andre Galvao was forced to step down after a storm of serious allegations. Now, he's back on the mats at Atos HQ. We're talking about a man many consider a living jiu-jitsu legend, a multiple-time world and ADCC champion, and the founder of one of the most dominant teams the sport has ever seen. And this isn't some quiet, phased-in return. It's a full-throated declaration. In a video dropped on March 11, 2026, Galvao announced he's back to teaching full-time from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. This move has sent a fresh shockwave through a community that's still reeling from the initial scandal. In this video, we're breaking down his surprise return, his very carefully worded statement about business changes, the huge unanswered questions about a promised investigation, and the deep division this has created in the jiu-jitsu world. What does this all mean for Atos, for the athletes who walked out, and for the safety and accountability of the sport itself? Let's get into it. The announcement came, like most things in this saga, on social media. On March 11th, Andre Galvao released a video, his first time really speaking at length since the crisis kicked off, framing his message with references to his faith and what he called a divine mission to teach. The point was crystal clear. In his own words,
"And I came to the United States with a purpose within. And I believe, no doubt, that God placed this in our hearts, okay? To serve people, to teach, and to build lives through jiu-jitsu and through the word of God, our faith in Jesus Christ. My wife and I have always prioritized the safety and the care, okay, of every single student and every single family within our community, okay? So with that being said, I would like to announce right here, right now, that I'm back teaching at Atos Jiu-Jitsu headquarters every single day. From Monday to Friday, sometimes Saturday, I'm here, okay, teaching every single day from 6 a.m. all the way to 8 p.m. I'm here all day long, and if you want to come and visit me and see me, I'm here, okay? If you have questions, I'm here, all right? So Atos Jiu-Jitsu is my responsibility, okay? And as the leader of this academy, I take that responsibility seriously, okay?
That doesn't sound like a man who's cautiously testing the waters. That sounds like a leader reclaiming his spot at the head of the empire. For many, the sheer speed of this return is what's most startling. It was only 5 weeks earlier, on February 3rd, 2026, that Atos HQ released an official statement announcing the immediate and indefinite separation of both Andre and his wife, Angelica Galvao, from all roles. Well, it turns out indefinite didn't last very long. In his video, Galvao talked about his lifelong dedication to the sport.
For more than 30 years, I have dedicated my life teaching jiu-jitsu, mentoring students, and helping families on and off the mats, okay?
The message was all about resilience, leadership, and getting back to business. But for a huge part of the jiu-jitsu community, things are anything but business as usual. To really get why this return is so controversial, we have to rewind to the allegations that tore Atos apart in the first place. The crisis exploded into public view back in early February 2026. The trigger was a detailed multi-slide Instagram post from Alexa Hurst, a talented purple belt who had trained at Atos since she was a kid. She was, for all intents and purposes, a homegrown product of the Atos system, promoted by Galvao himself. In her post, Hurst laid out serious allegations of sexual misconduct against her longtime coach. Then the fallout was immediate and catastrophic. These allegations set off a mass exodus from one of the world's top competition teams. The list of athletes who left reads like a who's who of elite grappling. Andy Murasaki, Rafaela Guedes, Lucas Hulk Barbosa, and Gustavo Batista were just a few of the superstars who walked. The bleeding wasn't just limited to athletes. Affiliated gyms all over the world, in the US, Australia, and Europe, started cutting ties. Longtime sponsor King's Kimonos announced it was suspending its partnership with both Galvao and Atos. By all appearances, the empire was crumbling. Under all this pressure, Atos HQ put out a formal statement on February 3rd. It announced the immediate and indefinite separation of Andre and Angelica Galvao from all roles. The statement also promised to hire a third party to investigate the allegations. For a minute there, the Atos website was even updated, listing their daughter, Sarah Galvao, Michael Perez, and Orlando Sampson as head instructors. It looked like a real, if painful, step toward a new chapter, a chapter that, as we now know, lasted only 5 weeks. Galvao's March 11th return video is just as important for what it doesn't say as for what it does. Not once in the entire statement does he directly address the specific, graphic allegations made by Alexa Hurst. The alleged inappropriate touching, the comments, the ear-licking incident, none of it is even mentioned, let alone denied. That initial false rumors post from early February is still his only direct comment on whether the claims are true. Instead, his statement pivots to his cooperation with authorities and a call for everyone to be patient. He said, "As you guys know, some accusations have been going around on social media. I just would like to say that I've been fully willing to cooperate with law enforcement and with all jiu-jitsu organizations in this matter." Then he made a very specific claim. "In fact, I already reached out to the San Diego Police Department first. They never called me. They never contacted me." This paints a picture of him not as a man under investigation, but as a proactive citizen eager to clear his name. The overall tone is forward-looking and tries to be conciliatory. He doesn't go on the attack, which is a big shift from his first statement that blamed a personal vendetta. This time he said, "I'm choosing not to attack anyone right now or argue online or create more division inside the community." He wrapped up that thought by adding, "I trust that the truth will come forward through the proper time and through the proper process." And the messaging here feels very strategic. It repositions him as a leader taking the high road, a man of faith dedicated to his students who is just waiting for the proper process to work itself out. He asks for prayers and unity, trying to shift the focus from the accusations to a bigger story about community healing, with him leading the way. But for his critics, this narrative completely sidesteps the actual issue. The proper process he talks about is a black box, and his return to a position of power over students, while these allegations are still hanging in the air, is seen as a total failure of accountability. One of the most telling parts of Galvao's comeback was his attempt to give a different reason for all the turmoil that has ripped through his team. While he didn't directly link it to Alexa Hurst's allegations, he did use it to explain the general frustration and disagreement that he said was brewing at Atos. He chalked up the massive shakeup to simple business corrections made a couple of months prior. According to Galvao, these changes were things like updating policies, adjusting membership fees, and, maybe most importantly, changing how instructors were paid for private lessons to a percentage-based model. He admitted these pretty normal adjustments caused some friction. This narrative tries to reframe the mass exodus of top-tier athletes, not as a moral stand against alleged misconduct, but as a simple business dispute over money. It subtly hints that the public firestorm was just a symptom of internal financial arguments boiling over. But a lot of people are skeptical of this explanation. Many reports point out that high-profile athletes had already started leaving Atos before the allegations against Galvao went public. That timeline makes it hard to swallow the idea that the exodus was just a reaction to the scandal or the business changes he mentioned. It suggests there might have been deeper, pre-existing problems with the team's culture that made elite athletes want out. Critics say that framing this whole crisis as a business dispute is a calculated move to downplay the seriousness of the sexual misconduct allegations. It's a deflection from the core issues of athlete safety and abuse of power. While money disagreements can cause problems in any gym, it's a huge leap to suggest they would cause dozens of world-class athletes and academies to abandon one of the most successful teams in the sport, torching relationships built over years. The business corrections story just doesn't seem to add up. So where does this leave Atos now? In his video, Andre Galvao painted a picture of a resilient team that's moving forward. He repeated the Academy's mission to innovate jiu-jitsu and transforming lives, and made sure to say that they still have community support. To quote him again, "We still have families here. We still have people inside the gym. We still have our business running." His wife, Angelica, and their daughter, Sarah Galvao, are still involved. Sarah kept competing for Atos, even winning a major title right in the middle of all this, and was briefly named a head coach. The Atos HQ website, after that temporary change, now once again features Andre Galvao front and center as the head black belt. If you were just looking at their official channels, you might think the storm had passed. But the reality on the ground is way more complicated. The damage to their reputation has been huge. As of right now, we've seen no reports of any of the big names or major affiliates who left deciding to come back. The team that was at the absolute top of the sport just a few months ago is now a shadow of its former self, at least when it comes to its roster of elite competitors. This threatens Atos' very status as a global grappling powerhouse. The reaction from the rest of the BJJ community is still intensely divided. Galvao's supporters see his return as a rightful leader taking back his gym from what they see as baseless attacks. They're echoing his call for due process. At the same time, a large, very vocal part of the community sees his quick return as premature, or even worse, a total failure of accountability. For them, his return without any real resolution feels like a slap in the face to accusers and sends a dangerous message about the lack of consequences for people in power. Andre Galvao's return to the mats leaves the jiu-jitsu community grappling with more questions than answers. The biggest, most glaring one is this: what happened to the promised third-party investigation? That February 3rd statement from Atos was crystal clear that they would hire an independent body to look into the allegations. In the 5 weeks since, there's been complete silence. No updates, no announcement of a firm being hired, and no report on any findings. It seems Galvao's return happened without this crucial step ever being finished, or at least without the results being shared. Then there's the issue with the police. Galvao brought them up himself, saying he was the one who reached out to the San Diego Police Department. But Hersey has also said that she filed a report with law enforcement. The public has no idea what the official status of any investigation is. Is there an active case? Was a case opened and then closed? Without any transparency, everyone is left trying to figure out who to believe. This whole situation is forcing the BJJ world to look in the mirror and confront some uncomfortable truths about power in our sport. What kind of message does it send when a coach who's been accused of serious misconduct can just step down and then reclaim his position 5 weeks later with no independent oversight? What does indefinite separation even mean if the person being separated can just decide it's over? This controversy isn't just about one man or one gym anymore. It's become a referendum on the culture of jiu-jitsu itself. It's forcing us to ask tough questions about how we protect students, how we hold our leaders accountable, and whether the systems we have are good enough to deal with the abuse of power. The path forward for the community has to be about more than just waiting for the truth to come forward. It demands a real commitment to transparency, accountability, and creating an environment where the safety of every single student is more important than anything else, more important than loyalty, legacy, or winning medals. So here we are. Andre Galvao, a titan of the sport, is back teaching full-time, just weeks after stepping down in a firestorm. He's framed the team's implosion as a simple business dispute, while never directly answering the specific and serious claims of sexual misconduct made against him. The promised third-party investigation is a total mystery, and the community is more split than ever. The athletes who left on principle aren't back, and the Atos Dream Team is still broken. This story is a long way from being over, and how it ends will have a lasting impact on the entire sport. What do you think about Andre Galvao's return? Is this a leader rightfully taking back his team, or a disturbing sign of a much deeper problem in jiu-jitsu culture? Let us know your thoughts respectfully in the comments below.